Can you see what's now happening? What's happening is that I'm pulling off the acrylic, exposing the oil pastel underneath. By sweeping this through here and here, you're actually pulling your eye up and down to this luminous part and focal part of the attention of the work. So you've got this round here, up, round, down, up, and that creates the whole sort of movement of the painting. So that's going fairly well. I'm now laying in the beach in greater detail. Detail, I mean heavier colour. Detail as far as we're concerned on this type of work. And again, you notice, painted out. This isn't painted out. Put on brush marks. There, there, and left. And again, the direction of the brush mark indicates the pull and the focal point. We can then just soften this and start to brush out to the right hand corner. And what I'll do, I'll go back to my J cloth. It's quite exhausting work, this bit. Blending. See what happens here, there's nothing left on the brush, so it doesn't actually do anything. It picks the paint up, comes through, gentler, more gentle, back, emphasising the sweep up through here. What I might think of doing is just bringing this through here. A little bit more paint. But this is quite subtle compared to this, but I think it might just show up. You can see what's happened there. Whilst you're painting, although you've got the thing in mind, you know exactly where it came from and where we progress to. As this progresses, you tend to change your way of doing things because the painting actually takes over. So the form takes, everything takes over from you. Because you've got no single objective in mind, there's no anything to look at. Now just strengthening this chalk layer. Again, blending out. It's quite important whilst you're painting away is to make sure you keep your water fairly clean, stop it going muddy, clean your J cloth off, because it just transfers the colour if you're not careful, and it'll be in a place where you don't want to. Strengthening the colour, making marks, blending out. Different ways of using a brush here. Fingers dragging it through there. Harsher marks there. Re-emphasising that on that corner. What I'm fairly keen on doing is getting this, the edge of the cliff here is the water coming in, re-putting in a blue back. Keep it loose to give the feeling of the sea sweeping in, and connecting it here. Let me drag it over the corner, I think, at the moment, and get this connected. Connected basically is trying to bring one area into the other area to just stop it being too separate because of the colours are so different. It can tend to separate slightly too much. So I'm now using a yellow here, back into there, in, soft. That's going to pick that up and repeat it around that side, I think. That is held together, and I'm going to re-emphasise the border, I think, on the top this time by just using a slightly darker bluish colour here. I think would probably do the trick. That is overlaid and brought down, taken across the top without taking out all of the orange, because we want that orange here repeated down here, back, around and off. That may well disappear once we put it in a frame. What I want to look at doing here, if I went back to the original, we had this sort of series of blue, green, chalky whites, reds, yellows, luminous, bright colour with a bright day. And we had on this beach, knowing the beach quite well, there's a series of their red and green tans. When I say red and green, I mean it's not bright red and bright green, but they were sort of this down the beach here. So what I'm doing is just suggesting that these are in. So we've made some more marks. Now what I want to do here, having put those on, I want to just pull these in and darken bits of areas, lighten that before we actually finish the work. And I think it's hanging together fairly well now, and I think just with a little bit more light there, just some marks through there, I think that's going to work pretty well. So I'm just going to let that go before I go to the next stage. So yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, brilliant, good. What I'm going to do now is to put this lighthouse back in. It's quite stark white up against the skyline, so I'm using pure white here, where this is the lighthouse that pulls round to here, and so you get the bright impact here leading into it. I decided here, I think, to be fairly bold with the next bit. Big brushwork. I'm going to pick this up and take this across and blend out again. Don't like the edge too much here, so I've loosened that edge in quite bold marks. What I think I'll do now is just clean the brushes a little bit. I'm going to go back into this. In a way, we could probably get this through now. And blend back out with the... What it tends to do is lead your eye, boom, bang, 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 soft. What I've got here is a rigger. Before I get this finished, I'm making some marks with my rigger brush. There's bits of fencing and things that come into there, and there's some dunes and beach huts over here. And it's again emphasising this sweep. Don't try and be too realistic in painting a fence, but a suggestion is quite nice. I'm just taking it through that little bit of chalk there, just to break that line up. I'm going to take that off, that colour, and I'm going to use sort of an off-white colour here and make some marks in off-white, dragging through the coloured paint that's still drying off. I think that's enough for that. What I'm keen on doing now is we rub through the acrylic to expose the old pastel. We can also take it off with a palette knife, not something that's too sharp, but it just removes the surface. So we get this quite bright colour here. I've mixed up here slightly lighter blue, and I'm going to take this off here and kill this edge off, but I want to soften it a little bit here. That looks lighter because there's water on it, and that will dry off. And blend that back in to the edge again, very lightly. Very lightly. So I've just killed off this harshness a little bit here, perhaps a little more, but you can still see the original blues through it. A couple of marks down here, so I've gone from soft, hard. Having reached that stage, I'm very tempted to call it a day. And I think if you get to the stage where you think to yourselves, what do I do next? I think that's the stage to get hold of your brush, stick it in your pot and walk away. That's it. There we are, Hunstanton Cliffs. Just one way I actually do abstract paintings. There's many ways. I hope, though, it's just opened up that world to you, for you to look at, for you to break that tradition, to break that mould, and for you to have a go yourselves. Look at it in a separate way. Enjoy it and break into that new world of abstract painting.
Now available to buy. Try these techniques at home whenever you wish. The extended DVD of today's workshop is now available from the Painting and Drawing channel. For further information and to order your copy, go to www.paintingdrawingchannel.com.